we have got this gorgeous Winnebago. What do they call this thing? Is it a sightseer? That's what it is. It's a sightseer. This is sharp. Why is it here? Let's show you. This is a fiberglass roof. Nice and clean. Feel that caulking right there. Caulking up underneath there. All along here, look at all this. I'm going to show you how bad this stuff is. See if I can get a utensil. There's my utensil. Here's the bad part. Got to hold the camera with the left hand. I work righty. So this is supposed to be stuck right down to this. And this is not stuck down there. See how clean that is? Maybe you can, there we go, I'll come over this side. See how clean that is right there, the fiberglass? You can see a little bit is on there, but it's not really stuck. It's right here. And this is really slick. It's not stuck to it. It's just there. It looks like a nice little cow patty, but it's stuck. It's not stuck there. Gonna be ambidextrous here. See, lefty now, but it doesn't really stick. So we're taking all of this junk up. That's what we're gonna do. Take all this junk up, clean everything all down. We're gonna do it the right way. We are gonna do it right and a lot cleaner. So we gotta clean all this up so it looks nice and pretty. That's what the plan is. This stuff, it should be stuck down there better than this. He's not experiencing any leaks, so evidently it's doing its job right now, but this is, if it was mine, this is what I'd do. I took all this crap up. So, but like I said, you can see it's just not even sticking down there. This should really be stuck. And it's coming up with one big clump of mess here. See how that peeled right up like that? Look at under here now. You just get your finger under there. Not stuck. That is not stuck. I hadn't even worked that side yet, and it's already popped loose. See it? Yeah. So, kudos to Winnebago. They're all the same though. It might be a nice coach, but they all use these cheap products. They don't care. Cheaper the better. That's what the CFO wants to see. He sharpened that pencil up and said, hey, don't use the high dollar stuff, use the cheap stuff. We're going to save 3 cents. 3 cents over how many coaches adds up. We saved 3 cents here, we saved a few pennies over there, we saved. Gee whiz. Let's get more to the shareholders now. The shareholders be complaining. And pretty soon we don't have work in this country because we go, hey, you know what? Shareholders need to make more profit. Well, the only way we can do that is cut labor costs now. Let's send it out of the country. And now your cousin, your brother, your relative, whoever's working over there don't have a job because all the stockholders want to make more money. All the greed. And then the things fall apart. And people say, well, it's not American made. Well, no, because no one wants to pay for it. Gee whiz. I'll tell you, I'm with Trump. I think we're going to get some hats made up that say, make campers great again. That'll be good. Make campers great again. Man, I come up with all this fancy stuff. Alright, well, this is what we're working on this coach. Those gaskets will get replaced under there. All the booger along there. Right here, you can see we're taking this apart, everything. And we're going to also take the plumbing right there. And I got a new idea for those so they never leak. They'll never leak by the time we're done. Because you pop that cap off, and that is what happened. But you pop that cap, I think it was this one over here that got popped. That one. And if it pops off, then you got a leak. And I'll show you how you get your leaks once we take all that apart. But we're gonna take care of that problem. And like I said, we'll check the rest of the coach out and see what other vulnerable areas we have. But that's why it's here. So, but it is a really pretty coach. We'll be back with a Winnebago. Alright, see, we got some drops in here. Protect everything. What we're doing now is taking out That's how we're going to release the air conditioners. And we're going to replace the gaskets on the bottom. They should be replaced. Your gaskets should be replaced on these here every 2 years, they say. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so now what we're doing is taking the AC units off and we're going to service them. They work. We're just want to make sure they're all clean, they're operating properly, and then, like I said, get new gaskets on them. Alright, now we are going to service the air conditioners. What we're looking for though is, like, this is all filthy and everything, which it's not. These are actually pretty clean. So, even this one over here is pretty clean. So we're going to take the lid off of here, and we're going to see how the evaporator is doing. See if it's clean. But we're going to still get it. It's not terrible in there, you can see. Some of them get real cruddy up. We're going to give it a sprinkle of this coil cleaner love juice. Dose it with a little love. Then we'll rinse them and put a new gasket on there. Brand spanking new. Where's the old ones? Did you take them off already?
No, still on.
I want to see how bad they were. We'll lean them up. You should replace these gaskets every couple of years. See how flatified this one is? It's flatified. It's kind of hard too. A little bit right there. So now check out this. This is an unflatified one. See the difference? So that's what we're going to be using. The unflatified one. We call that fluffy. Fluffy, and that one's flatified. Alright, that's what we're working on right now. And then we mount them back up, and they're good to go. We will rock and roll. The unveiling of the this is the evaporator. And that's not bad either. See? So he already cleaned it, put the cover on. They said, no, we need to show people. Don't do that. Our fans want to know. Okay, so that one's clean. He already got that one back together. And that's us. So we are ready to rock and roll. Get these things stitched back up. And once we get them all stitched back in there, secured, yada yada yada, good to go. That's as easy as it is. Easy peasy. Look at that there. One big old cow patty right there. Came right around that vent. That's how easy that come up. So you can see it didn't stick. Look how clean that is. I actually made an impression on it. We even got the model number. See it? That's supposed to be stuck in there, but it's not. Nice and clean there. So we'll be taking those up, and anyways, we got a different technique still those. And so everything else coming up, we had another piece. Most of them coming up in big chunks. So we'll clean all this up too. We gotta get all this off. This is like a siliconized type of caulk, and that's why it doesn't stick. Silicone does not stick to silicone, so when you use products that have silicone, like a lot of RV products, they'll say, put more on. Yeah, put some more on. They want you to go around, and they want you to keep dolling all of this up with more. Put more on, more on. The only ones that put more on is a moron. It's a bad system. It's not working. So you want to put something on there a little sturdier of a product. So we're going to be using a product called M1. It's a structural adhesive caulk, but before we can do all that, we got to get all of this out. We got to get that clean. So this has got to be clean. Then we're going to put a primer down. Once we put that primer down on there, it'll bond. Once the first layer cures, we'll come back and hit her another lick. So we'll keep you posted. We got the roof clean. It is pretty well clean. Cleaned up all that mess around there. Now we got to prime them up. And we got another little project going on there with this plumbing over here. So all the vents are all clean. Everything's clean so far. Went around this antenna. So all of that's clean. Now what we got to do is get her primed, and we got to fix this problem. So the way those go, that little bell cap popped off there. Water could get down into that hole. See it? And it would leak. So we're going to remedy that. The other problem we had is on that particular one, that's why it's cut so low, is because we're going to put a coupler on there, right here. We're going to put that on there to extend it, because it was too low
and water could easily get into there, so we didn't like it. So we're gonna fix this, and we will show you how just as soon as we get the rest of this stuff that's down there. Here's the base that they had that went over there, and the problem was the pipe, this one over here, that pipe wasn't even high enough over here. They just had a cap on there, so even water in itself, just traveling water, could get up in it. The pipe needs to be up higher to sit up underneath the cap, which is right here. So now what we're doing, we're going to prime that pipe, and then and prime everything all around it. But then we're going to put this back on there, and all this is going to be cleaned and primed better, and then we're going to load it. What we're going to do is we're going to pour product in there, so it'll be all solid inside there. It'll have a pourable sealer is what it's called. We're going to pour it in there all around the pipe, and then we won't have any issues. Here, will that fit?
Yes, sir.
See if that'll fit on there.
Dirty hands. Real tight. It's actually a good fit.
Okay. Will the cap go on? So let's see what it looks like.
Well,
do we have to cut that down? We may have to cut that down a little bit.
They're going to fit just fine.
Will that look like it'll fit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We're just probably going to have to paint that pipe black so it don't look like it stands out. Okay. So that's where we're at. And then, like I said, we got to get the pourable. And then we got to figure a way to get the pourable in there around all that. So that's what we're working on right now, which is easy. I've already got it figured out because I'm smart. I'm a smart guy. I'm a fart smeller. I'm a smart fella. You know.
What we did is we used a pourable sealer down inside there. You can see that burp right there. We drilled holes all the way around it and we filled it. So now it's going to be filled just like the boots we have on our other projects. We're just going to keep loading her up. I'm going to inject it all in there. Then it'll burp out. That's how we know we got enough. All the first layer, the first stripe of caulking around all of the vents here, skylight. We also got the ladder over here. We got that down the base of the ladder. We also ran down here with a bead. You see we got some protection on the awning. And we also ran it along this awning, all the way over here. We got right here. So we plowed all that stuff out. We can only do this on fiberglass. That's it. So some folks ask if we can reseal like a rubber roof or a TPO. We can't because you'll end up tearing the roof. We got to really dig to get some of that stuff out. Now on this, because there was no primer, it didn't stick well, but it'll stick a little bit better to the rubber, even though it's not really bonded, but it still makes a mess. So now we're going to see if we can inspect some of these windows perhaps and maybe get a little bit over the tops of these windows, like right there. Maybe get a lick or two on there. So that's us so far. We're probably going to go over these little screws too with a little love. All those. So now what we do over here is we're tapping it around, get the air out of the product, and then she's good to go. Tip of the day. This is a piece of hickory, and you can take it and sharpen it really sharp. See how sharp that is? Super sharp. Then you don't have to worry about scratching the coach. And then you can go down to your sander and you can sand it back sharp again. That's the tip of the day. Well, I haven't posted one in a while, maybe a tip of the month or tip of the year. I don't know, I'll have to keep tabs. But it just makes it a lot easier. So and this is such a nice coach. I mean, you can even see these slight little scratches here possibly. Actually, there's a lot of glare, but you can't. There you go. You can see those. That's just obviously from tree branches and stuff. But you don't want to slip your knife and gouge or anything, and you just want to nice and easy try to take this out of here. So this works pretty darn good. You can use oak, ash, maple, if you've got some stuff hanging around. If you didn't have any of this and you wanted to make one of these, you can go over to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a little stick, even a dowel. If you had a dowel, you can sharpen a dowel the same way and then it's more like a pencil. It's a little easier to hold. I just happen to have a whole bunch of this hickory that I got, and I had made some stools with them, some little campfire stools, and I made some Adirondack chairs that come out really awesome. It's just a pallet. These were all pallets. I just started what they call dressing them, meaning make them all dimensionally right. So, but now this one here is already getting a little dull. You can see that little edge right there. So that's why I do the other side. Do the other side too. Then you don't have to keep jumping down as much. I got a couple up here, and you can just keep working them. It just makes it a lot easier. Then it's a lot safer. After you do that, you want to take denatured alcohol, denatured. Do not use lacquer. Do not use anything aggressive. You'll take the finish out this window. You just want to get the rest of that booger out. This isn't silicone, so this is pretty easy. But these sticks even work real well on silicone too. So, and if you wanted to put like a little notch in it for your thumb or something, you get creative. You know, if you're doing it for a while on your coach, if you got a big coach, take a minute or two, get them comfortable, because you'll be using them all day long. Maybe a few days really, to get out all the caulking. You know, this can be a tedious job. All right, so now we're down towards the back. This is the back window here. I already went around there and scooted around. So this is just butyl. That's all that is. It's just butyl tape. See, the butyl putty rather. That's in the back. So all you have to do is just take your little tool. See, get up there real close so you can see this. It'll plow it out really nice. I mean, nice enough for you just to get it out of the way. You just don't want all those crumbs hanging out. We're going to go over that with. Then you can turn the tool the other way to get the sharp edge on the other side, and you just come around. See? So, and then once you get all that, you got to take a couple. If you're going to do this, this does take a while. We don't mind showing anybody how to do these because of it taking so long. Then you just take a rag. You're just going to clean some of that booger off. I don't know what that is on the corner, but it's there. See, and you just kind of keep going around. I didn't do this side yet. Then see, this is the other one I have that I made. You do the same thing. Since I'm holding the camera this way, I'll go back this way. And I'm just letting the knife draw out as much as the stress is on the caulking, if you can kind of understand that. If you go too hard, you'll just slip. Just let the blade do whatever speed it wants to cut at, kind of. There you go. See? You get this whole piece out like that. Another good thing I found that makes the day go better is get a good cigar. You get a good cigar and a good cup of coffee, you can really just enjoy the day. Scraping, caulking. Now, if this was silicone, you'd do the same thing, but you'd probably want to come in with a knife this way. Be real careful, like an X-Acto knife. And then I usually take a paint scraper and I hold the blade down like this, and it's angled in such a way that the top of the blade, as it's angled, is at the top of where the caulking would be. And I just drag it nice and easy, and I let the blade do the cutting. I may have to come across a few times, and then I come in this way and I can peel it out. But I'm trying to go down on an angle like this because I want to try to get whatever's down in that crevice of silicone, because nothing will stick to silicone, so you really want to try and get all that booger out of there. Don't use silicone. Anything that says the word RV on it, don't buy it. We're going to go over this with M1. That's all I have in black. Duralink is good as well. Duralink's just not as much of an adhesive. It's an adhesive caulk, but it's not anything like Duralink. Duralink's like the dump truck. You don't need a dump truck to do this job. A pickup truck will be just fine. And all you need to do, I mean, we just go around one time on these. If you want to go around a couple times, you could. But so now once you get that, like you say, you're going to take your rag, and then you'll take your rag and you just wipe all that off. Now it's ready to caulk, and I'll show you how we do that afterwards. But that's it. Some people think they need to take the whole window out. You don't need to take the whole window out. Just go around, clean it. And then even if you had gaps in there, you're going to load that as you're going. You know, maybe you had aluminum siding, or if you did, you know, you still can get in there and just slow down a little bit, let it fill in, and then just pull it. I don't usually tool it, meaning I don't usually take and strike the caulking afterwards. Once I put a bead on, if you can work a caulking gun pretty well, you shouldn't have to. You really don't want to. Since it's thicker, it'll have more strength to itself and it'll seal better. You don't really need to strike it all down. Some people think they need to put their finger on there. It'll just smear it all out. So sometimes if you go around and you're not sure about it, and you really need to push the caulking in there for, say, if you did, I found that black electrical tape, once you start coming around the curve, stretch the tape and then put it on here and stretch it again, and you can follow that curve, keep stretching and pulling, and you can put black electrical tape, maybe about 3/8 of an inch or so, or off the edge of the window. And then you could use one of them rubber tools, but then you're still going to get some on the window, so you'd have to keep cleaning it, and then you'll have to again keep taking the denature to wipe all that, because you'll get caulking on the window, unless you want to put another strike on top of it. And we've had to do that sometimes on corner molds. This one doesn't have it, but sometimes on the corner there's a molding, and we may overlap on that corner mold about a 1/4 inch. So now that caulking is much thicker and it's wrapped all around there, especially on, like I said, aluminum sided coaches. That's the way I would do it. So let's keep going along, and then we'll get all this clean, and then we'll probably jump on the other side, and maybe then we'll stretch the scaffold. It's a lot easier. See, we're working on this big old platform right here, and we've got them all set up everywhere. Everywhere you go, I've got like $10,000 worth of scaffold here with handrails, safety rails, everything. It makes it a lot easier to do the job. If not, you're bouncing a ladder all over the place, and that's just after a while will wear your legs out. All right, let me keep going with this, and then when we get to the caulking, we'll show you how we do all that. Here is the caulking. See that tip? Look at that tip. See how it's got a little curve to it? All right, you want that straight. You want it nice and straight. Now I can put the camera down so I can straighten it out. I'll straighten it out and come back, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can, I don't know how good I'll do to do this one-handed with a camera, lefty. We're going to try it. If not, I got my tools to take that right back out, right? Okay, so I got the tip pretty good right there. Pretty good. See if you can see it. What'll happen is if your tip is not as straight as it can be, is it will leave, if you've ever done caulking before, you'll see a little squiggly come out. I call it bleed off. It's because the tip isn't exactly right. And I couldn't tell you exactly how to cut the tip for yourself, because some people hold the gun higher, lower, on an angle, whichever, and it also depends on the way you're going to drag once you learn how to kind of work with a gun. The other thing that's important is you always want to have a dirty rag, because every time you stop that gun, you need to clean the tip. Don't start it when the tip, because you'll get a little bleed out from the gun, and then you'll always leave little booger drops along. Then at the caulking, now I'm using M1 here, but I don't have any black Duralink. I would have used a Duralink because I like the tips a lot better, but because they can unscrew. So if you're doing a lot of it, if you get a tip that unscrews, then you have that tip just the way you like it. You don't have to try to match it again on the next tube after you run out. You can just unscrew it, put it on another tube. So I'm going to try and see if we can push some down here. And like I said, predominantly I'm right-handed, but we're going to see. I got to get a little started here. Make sure it's going to flow good. I like these guns. These ones, the cartridges snap in. You just push it right in there. And then when you want to take them apart, you pull on each end at the same time. But see that little booger on there? I don't want it on there. Let me wipe that off. Let's see how good I can do. And you also want to make sure that the way the tip of the caulking gun is, see the tip right there? It's aiming into the coach. It's not aiming into the hole. I need it to aim like this. And I'm going to be trying to drag it along like this. Or I could get real creative and I may just kind of come along on the side. The hard part is hey, Chris, how about you hold this here and we can show everybody. We don't have a cameraman. We're not fancy here. We're trying to show you the meat and potatoes. So I'll see if Chris will hold the camera for us. He's the guy with the dirty socks.
Yeah.
Here, just hold that down. We'll see that. All right. Feel good about it, dude.
Yeah, you still got me beat, boss.
See that little bleed out that's happening?
Yes, sir.
We don't need to worry about it right now. That's you.
Man.
So that's us.
Yes, sir.
Already got it. Then that little touch up right here, you can get that the same way. Gotta get this here. I'm just gonna put a little bit of pressure enough to get some product out. And I can even go in the other direction. But you can just use the tip itself as a tool because it's going to keep the same profile as what you have. That's kind of what I'm getting at. You can just kind of like that. So that's you there.
And then any of this bleed off that you see right here, that bleed off, once this cures, and close to cure, like the next day, you can just come by and you can just skin that right off. So don't worry about it. Don't panic and say, oh, I got that there. You can come by with a little X-Acto knife and you just kind of zip right along nice and easy, and then take that out with your wooden chisel. Not you. Okay, we've got everything sealed on here. Around the antenna, new gaskets under the AC, cleaned everything up real nice. You can see all the caulking under there. Plumbing, everything's all nice and tight. We've got all that ready. So the other thing I was showing you was some of the striking on here, and there's a little bleed off. I think it was like right here. You can just take this, there's just a little plastic spoon, and you can scrape that off nice and easy if you had to, but it'll come right off. You have a little fork rather, but it'll come off. So if you really were that meticulous about it, I'm kind of holding the camera and trying to work it all. But otherwise, we get everything all tied up on here, and it looks ready to rock and roll. So, here's our Sunseeker.
Sightseer.
Sightseer. I was corrected. The customer has corrected me. Don't call it a Sunseeker. It's a Sightseer. And we even got these little spouts on the end here in all four corners. It'll kick it off. They didn't put any on, so the water rolls this way. At least it'll kick off now.